Hi Facebook. So things are a little loud here because I am actually disinfecting my newly found 60-gallon tank. I got this off eBay, and it was in a really sketchy area of my town, and it was kind of crappy looking. It was dirt in the bottom, hadn't been used for a couple of years. And so all I've been doing is scrubbing bubbles. Really, it was just whatever I had under the sink. That was like a cleaner, a disinfectant, kills 99% of germs, because I found that anyone that has, one second, sorry, I'm filling up water in buckets. I found anyone that has used fish tanks, they typically are getting rid of them because they're not taking care of them. So with that being said, anytime you buy a used fish tank, one, you want to check for leaks, major scratches, any thing that's going to disrupt the integrity of the glass, obviously, or acrylic if it's an acrylic tank. But also you want to make sure that you disinfect it before you decide to put anything in it, because it probably hasn't been taken care of the last little bit that it was being used. Obviously that's why they're getting out of the hobby, or they're getting rid of that particular tank. So what I did is I basically coated every single surface in that tank with scrubbing bubbles. Again, just whatever I had under the sink at the time. And I covered every square inch of glass, and I took about 20 paper towels and wiped it all out, scrubbed it clean, got off, like, here you can kind of see in the corner, it's like where the hard water, like calcium, builds up. Anyone that has a fish tank will know what that's like. That's actually a piece of paper towel right there. I use scrubbing bubbles to get rid of that. You can also do what I'm about to do right now. Sorry for all the shakiness. Is use white distilled vinegar. Again, it's just a regular little brand. It's my local grocery store. Perfect little gallon. I actually need more of this, but I'm going to start with a gallon. And you can do this for any kind of used fish equipment to disinfect it and get off that crud, that white calcium buildup. I think it's about a 4-to-1 ratio of water to vinegar. Obviously, you can change that ratio if something, is really grody and you need to clean it. Just be careful that the vinegar doesn't eat anything. It shouldn't. Like if you're using it on heaters, it doesn't eat that protective coating on it or things like that. So, but anyways, so what I did was I used scrubbing bubbles, and I covered the whole tank in scrubbing bubbles and just wiped it all out. And then I used Windex and went around and did both inside and outside the glass. And I'm sure there's people out there freaking out because I used heavy cleaners on a fish tank. Relax, it's okay. Glass is not porous, so it's not going to absorb the chemicals. What I was doing is I wanted to clean the glass really well because I wanted to see if there were any major scratches in the glass before I would go ahead and fill it up. Obviously, I've already done a water test on this tank, otherwise I wouldn't be going through all this work. And all a water test is, it's just filling the tank up to the top level that it's going to be at and seeing if it can hold water without leaking. I did that right after I purchased it because I couldn't do it at his house. And it was holding water just fine, so now I'm cleaning it. And after I did the Windex, I went through and looked at every scratch on the tank, and thankfully all the scratches are on the outside of the tank. None are on the inside, which is really impressive. And I don't care what people say about scratches on fish tanks. If you use a fish tank, you're going to have scratches. It's just, inevitable. That's all it is. It's just like a house. Like right now, I apologize for this mess. I am packing. A house, if you live in it, it's going to get used. It's going to get dirty from time to time. And same thing with a fish tank. As long as it's not disrupting the integrity of the glass, it's fine. So anyway, I wanted to clean it all really, really well so I knew what I was working with to make sure that when I fill it up and put fish in here, the fish are going to be safe. Now, for all of those of you that are freaking out because I used a really harsh chemical to clean the glass, to clean the bracing, to clean the bottom, relax. I'm going to be using a distilled vinegar, again with that 4-to-1 ratio roughly, and putting that, this is my cat, Spider-Man. He's not much of a help. Anyway, I'm going to be putting that in the tank and letting it run. and then draining it. And then I'm going to fill the tank probably 3 or 4 times with water all the way to the top and drain it. It's not going to be great for my mom's water bill, but it will clean the tank out. And if you're really afraid of using these harsh chemicals, as long as you rinse it out thoroughly and you get every square inch of water, you wipe it down and you let it dry, it'll be fine. You can use these harsh chemicals on glass because, again, glass is not porous. Think about the chemicals we use in a dishwasher to disinfect things. We're not eating those. The plates and silverware aren't porous either. It washes off. So it's a similar concept. You just have to be really thorough about it. And as long as you're thorough, it'll be fine. Obviously, you need to really make sure that you get in any crevices, especially like I can show you here. This is an older tank, so some of the beading where the silicone, it's kind of coming up like in places, like in here you can kind of see it's bubbling a little bit, just because of use, that's all. There's nothing wrong with it. The seal is fine. It's just you have to make sure that if you spray that directly with cleaner because there's something grody in there, make sure that you are diligent about getting water in there and scrubbing it. Obviously, don't scrape at it because that's going to ruin the integrity of the seal on your tank, and that will eventually cause a leak. And no one wants 60 gallons of water on their floor. So, anyway, I thought I would just do this little video and show you what I'm using. Again, it's just a heavy-duty cleaner, whatever I had underneath my sink at the time. It kills 99.9% of bacteria. So I know that this is sterilized and it'll be safe for my fish, especially because, no one wants fish ick in a brand new tank and destroys everything and you have to rip it all out again. So starting from scratch, starting from the bottom and doing it right is the best way to do it. Then I used Windex also just to see the glass itself to make sure that there's nothing wrong with the glass, that where the scratches are so I can determine which side I want to be the front. Things like that. And then I'm using a vinegar to break down the chlorine that's in those chemicals. And then I'm going to be doing a complete fill up of 3 or 4 times of this tank. Just of water, swirl it around, dump it, fill it, dump it, fill it, dump it. Sounds repetitive, but that's what has to be done when you use these harsh chemicals. Now, they do make chemicals that are fish safe, and you can use those. I'm just going a more cheap route and using household cleaners that I have. It takes a little more time, but it's cheaper in the long run. And again, this is all about how to have beautiful things in your life on a budget and not breaking the bank. So that's how I'm doing it. If any of you have any questions or suggestions, I would greatly appreciate it. Within the next 3 weeks, I will be posting numerous videos about this fish tank. It is going to be a big planted tank. I'll be talking to you about how I got all the equipment on sale, on clearance, not at full price. The fish tank stand and everything I'll be stocking it with, and then I'll just be doing updates periodically. And, my cat is just a camera hog, so that's fine. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.